In this video, we will walk through the accessibility essentials, 5 areas you can focus on to make sure your digital materials work for every student from day one. Designing accessible materials is one of the most direct ways we can show that students are at the center of everything we do. We want every student to arrive feeling like they belong, not like our materials were built for someone else. It's one thing to say materials should be accessible, and another to know exactly where to start. The accessibility essentials give you 5 concrete areas to focus on: meaningful hyperlinks, images and alt text, documents and pages, videos, and third-party resources. As we go through each one, we will ask 3 questions. What can you do in 5 minutes? What might take 5 hours? And what could you accomplish if you had 5 days? Before we dive in, it helps to understand how someone who is blind or has low vision experiences digital content. A sighted person reads text, spots links by their color, and scans a page visually. Someone who cannot see or who has difficulty seeing may use a screen reader, a tool that reads all content on a page out loud. Making content accessible often means making sure a screen reader can read it accurately and completely. When it can't, students miss information. That is exactly what we are here to prevent. The first accessibility essential is meaningful hyperlinks. When a screen reader reaches a full URL, it reads every character out loud. For a short address like a school's homepage, that's manageable. For a longer URL, it becomes a confusing string of letters, numbers, and symbols. Rather than pasting a full URL, link meaningful text that tells students where they are going. The same goes for the phrase "click here." Some screen readers allow users to jump directly from link to link on a page. If every link just says "click here," there is no way to know where it leads without going back to read the full surrounding context. Descriptive link text removes that barrier entirely. Meaningful hyperlinks help students using screen readers, but they also help any student who is scanning a page quickly rather than reading every word. In 5 minutes, you can review the links in a single document or page and update any that are vague. Going forward, inserting a meaningful hyperlink takes only a few seconds. Most programs and platforms support the keyboard shortcut Control-K or Command-K on a Mac, which opens a menu where you can paste a URL and write out the link text at the same time. The second accessibility essential is adding alt text to images. When a screen reader reaches an image, it reads the alt text or alternative text to describe what is shown for students who cannot see it. Good alt text describes an image based on its purpose in context. The same image might need different alt text in 2 different settings, depending on what information you are using it to convey. When writing alt text, ask yourself, what does a student need to understand from this image? You do not need to describe every detail. Focus on what is relevant. Not every image needs alt text. If an image is purely decorative, you can mark it as decorative so the screen reader skips it. This prevents redundant information. For example, if a heading already says red flags, a generic red flag icon next to it does not need to be described again. Writing alt text for a single image might take 5 minutes. Working through an entire course could take 5 hours or more, depending on how many images you have and how complex they are. If you are working with a large number of images, consider using an AI tool to draft alt text as a starting point. You will still need to review and edit the output, but it can speed up the process significantly. The third accessibility essential is formatting documents and web pages correctly. Screen readers can navigate through a document section by section, and students who use keyboard navigation instead of a mouse can do the same. This only works, though, if the document is properly formatted. One of the most important formatting choices is using a logical heading structure. Headings are not just for visual organization. They allow screen readers to jump from section to section. Use heading styles, H1, H2, H3, and so on, in sequential order in Word, Google Docs, Brightspace, or whichever platform you're working in. When creating lists, use your program's built-in bullet or numbered list formatting. Many programs will do this automatically when you start typing a dash or number. If that happens, keep the formatting rather than undoing it. Proper list formatting communicates structure to screen readers. If you use color to convey meaning, always pair it with another indicator such as a label, icon, or pattern. Students who are colorblind cannot rely on color alone to understand information. Make sure the text and background colors in your materials have enough contrast to be readable. Poor contrast can be obvious, like light yellow on a white background, but it can also be subtle. Brightspace has a color contrast checker built into its color picker, and free tools are also available with a basic internet search. If you include tables, use a header row and avoid merging or splitting cells. Fill in every cell since empty cells can confuse screen readers. Most digital platforms include a built-in accessibility checker. Use it as a starting point, not a finish line. It can flag missing alt text, but it cannot tell you where your alt text is accurate or useful. Your own review is still essential. A simple document might take 5 minutes to check. Reviewing an entire course could take 5 hours or 5 days, especially if the materials were not built with accessibility in mind from the start. The fourth accessibility essential is ensuring your videos have accurate captions. Captions make video content accessible for students who are deaf or hard of hearing. They are also useful for anyone who cannot listen with sound on in a given moment, or who prefers to read along. For videos you find and share from outside sources, you cannot edit the captions directly. Before assigning a video, watch it with the captions on to check whether they are accurate. Errors in auto-generated captions can change the meaning significantly. If the captions are not accurate and cannot be corrected, you will need to find or create an alternative. For videos you record yourself, use a tool that automatically generates a caption file. Once the file is created, review and correct it before sharing. When you post the video, make sure students can toggle the captions on and off. There are many tools available to help you generate captions and share your video. Clipchamp and YouTube are two that are commonly used at Delaware Tech. A short video might only need 5 minutes of caption review. A longer lecture could take more time, roughly proportional to the length of the recording. The fifth accessibility essential is reviewing the accessibility of third-party resources. These include tools and materials your department or institution has purchased, as well as resources students pay for directly, such as textbooks or platform subscriptions. Accessibility should be a factor when selecting any third-party resource. One place to start is the VPAT, which stands for Voluntary Product Accessibility Template. This is a document that describes how a product meets accessibility standards based on the vendor's own testing. It is not a guarantee, but it gives you a starting point for evaluation. You can also look for an accessibility statement on the vendor's website, or ask the vendor directly. Useful questions include whether the product works with screen readers, whether it supports keyboard navigation, and what do they do when accessibility issues are reported. A quick review of a vendor's accessibility documentation might take 5 minutes. Fully evaluating a platform before a purchasing decision could take much longer. Accessibility does not need to be overwhelming. The accessibility essentials give you a clear, manageable way to start. Meaningful hyperlinks, alt text, properly formatted documents and pages, accurate video captions, and accessible third-party resources. Every change you make, no matter how small, removes a barrier for a student. And when we build materials with all students in mind from the beginning, we spend less time fixing problems later.